Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Mike Shea, your Florida business broker. It is the day before the Memorial Day weekend. I'm in the office. We're in the process of moving, so I am dressed down today. But was on a sales call over in Tampa Bay yesterday with a seller and was doing features and benefits of us at Transworld versus competitors. And one of the things that's really hard to articulate to sellers is the reality of how the marketplace works. A, there is a marketplace. B, how buyers find deals and how they search and what their behaviors are. Because in a marketplace, you have to get your product, in any marketplace, you have to get your product in front of people. So where are people's attentions? The majority of activity now is done via internet platforms, any one of 20 some odd for-pay sites. So a question that a seller should be asking is, are my brokers on those sites? And you shouldn't assume that they are, because you have to really get into the economics of how a brokerage works and how much money they make. So in the situation I was in yesterday, I was up against 3 or 4 other brokers. One is a broker who's not a trade association member. They charge an upfront fee. And just as a whim, I asked the seller, what did they tell him the business was worth? And they said, well, he has to ask me what I wanted. That should tell you something. And then the second thing was, he goes, well, if you're making 50, we can start at 3 times, and that would have put you at $150,000. The trick there was they were going to charge him $15,000 up front. So, hey, I have no science behind what I do, but I'm going to charge you 15 grand. And if we get it, great, you're happy. If we don't, no loss to the broker because they make money. The other 3 that they went against were BBF members, all smaller firms. And I guess the average brokerage firm probably carries anywhere between 10 to 25 listings. So the current listing count in the state of Florida is somewhere around 4,500 listings. And I believe my firm has about half or just shy of half of those, which was a good demonstration because the one that I was really up against only had 14, and I carry personally 65 to 70. And my office carries north of 200. So why is that an important variable for a seller to think about? Well, it's important because when a buyer goes into the internet, they are looking for, and they're on a platform and they're searching, and they search by either income or they search by category. And the person they come across in this busy marketplace where there's limits on how much description and photographs and things that can differentiate a listing from another, is almost impossible to navigate. So one of the frustrations of buyers is there's so much chatter and froth out there that they can't find the deal. So I think it's real important that sellers partner up with us because we have so much of the marketplace. So let me see if I can take a picture of what I've drawn on the board here. So if you're looking at this board, I've drawn multiple stars. And actually, I'm missing a couple. So I'm missing Transworlds, but let's just put in, broker A's 10 accounts. Let's assume everybody has 10 listings. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? There's 10. And seller is going to be the red marker, which I haven't put up there, right? Thank God I bought all these new markers. So here's red. That's the guy who wants to sell his business, and this is the marketplace. Now, what I also don't have up there is Transworld. So to give you a feel, we're going to go get the green marker, and we're going to exponentially show you how many listings we have. So the average broker out there has anywhere between, let's give them 20, but here I've only put 10. You can see how busy it gets when there's only 10. I personally carry 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 10 on the board, there's 50. If you were to take 60 stars, that's just me, by the way. You can see how when you're fishing, you're going to come across me personally at a higher likelihood, or you're going to come across Transworld at a higher likelihood because let's just say this was Orlando and we had 200. Imagine I continued to do this and I had 200 stars
and this little guy that's red was also, our target was also green. What is the likelihood that when a buyer's in the marketplace, they're going to come across a Transworld agent before they come across another agent? Obviously, just on sheer numbers, it's going to be proportionally larger. That pictorial is super important for you to understand, because when a buyer comes in, they rarely ever buy what they first inquire on. An inquiry drives an email drives an engagement. In my case, the buyer gets a response, a non-disclosure, they get an ebook, they get some podcast information that kind of brings them into the fold, gets them educated, and then helps us, prep them for the buying process so they don't get frustrated as they stagger through this morass of information, because it's a daunting one. If you choose another broker, two things are going to happen. One is the likelihood of being found is harder, therefore slowing down the process, which is why it takes 12 months. And then incrementally, there's another dynamic. When you only have 10 listings as an agent, your willingness to cooperate and co-broker is proportionally lower because natural human instinct greed kicks in. So why does it take 12 months to sell? Because the marketplace is immature and very choppy and fragmented. We control a large amount of market share. So I was literally at a conference last week where someone said, hey, the IBBA says it takes X amount of months to sell. And I said, that's them, not us. We don't do that because we control market share. And by controlling market share, the marketplace that we own becomes more efficient and buyers and sellers can navigate quickly. So we freely co-broker, so the other brokers are completely able to bring their buyers to our deals, which happens with us most of the time. But it's real important if you're selling that you get to a broker that has bandwidth and the ability to market the deal. I'd like to talk to you this more. I'm sorry for the inefficient video, but I'm not a PowerPoint guy, and nor do I have the time. You can always call me, 321-287-0349. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.